Welcome to Learn to Read Thai video tutorial 11. Today I'm going to do the first video of 3 about Thai tones. Being a tonal language, tones are extremely important in Thai. I've got no Thai assistant today, but I've decided to go ahead because the explanations I'm going to give are more important than the pronunciation. However, do bear in mind that when you hear me say a Thai word, it's not going to sound like a native speaker. Unless you start to learn a second language at a very young age, 5, 6 or 7, you're not going to sound like a native speaker. Okay, I'm going to look at 2 characters today. This one we've seen already, but I'm going to introduce it formally today, and this one. This is a consonant. This serves as both a consonant and a vowel, and they both have a very important function with tones. So I'll do the easy one first, which is this one. And it just acts as an H, as an initial consonant. And with Thai words, it's not used as a final consonant. However, when Thais borrow words from other languages, they try to follow the original spelling. So if the word has an H and they transliterate it into Thai, they will normally put one of these at the end. But what they'll also normally do is put a little symbol above it. And when you see this symbol, it just means ignore the consonant below. What I find quite interesting is the transliteration of a certain brand of beer in Thailand. I'll just write it here. So what we have is a S initial consonant, then the I vowel, then the NG final consonant, so we get sing. And that's all we need, because we've got this H consonant, but we've got the symbol that just says ignore it, don't use it. However, the manufacturer has decided to use it for some unknown reason with an H, so we get sing ha, but the pronunciation in Thai, because we ignore this one, is just sing. So if you want to sound like a tourist in Thailand, ask for a sing a beer. If you don't want to sound like a tourist, just ask for a beer sing. Okay, let's just look at a few example words that use this H consonant. I'll remind you again just to ignore my pronunciation. So I'll write the first one. And my writing's not too good either. I'm missing my assistant already. Okay, so here we have the H initial consonant, a tone mark, and the long R vowel. And the word is ha, with a falling tone, and it means 5 in Thai. On to the next one. The H initial consonant again, and then the gorgai, which as a final consonant has an unreleased K sound. There's no written vowel, so we have to insert an O. Okay? So we just get hog. That's a low tone, and that's the word for 6. And just one more. There's the H initial consonant again, the I vowel, and the N final consonant. And this word has a rising tone. It's hin, and that means stone in Thai. So just the basic use of this consonant is quite easy. It's just like an English H, and it's normally only used as an initial consonant, and you don't see it very often as a final consonant. Now let's move on to the other character, and this one's a bit more complicated. It's used for several different things. And you should remember from a previous tutorial, I've mentioned the silent consonant quite a lot, and it's used as a silent consonant. Now what is a silent consonant? If we think of the English word pin, okay, and do a transliteration in Thai. So there's a P initial consonant, then we do the I vowel, which is written above the initial consonant, and then the final consonant. Now, if I don't want an initial consonant sound in English, I just rub out the P, okay, and I've got in, which is fine. That's no problem at all. However, if I do that in Thai, if I take away this P initial consonant, okay, the I vowel is just hanging in the air above nothing, and it can't do that. If you have a vowel in Thai that's written above or below a consonant, there needs to be a consonant there. It can't be there on its own. So what we do, we just write the silent consonant. So it satisfies the rule about having a consonant below the vowel, but it doesn't make any sound. So that should be quite a straightforward explanation of the silent consonant, and that's one function of this character, which is known as or-ang, by the way. Its second function is to act as a vowel, and it just makes an English O sound. So you should remember from just a few minutes ago when we looked at the word hog for 6 in Thai. Let's write it again. Okay, there's no vowel, so we have to insert an O. And in Thai, it's this character which acts as a vowel. So we just put it in there. But strangely, some words do have a written vowel, whereas others don't. The example I've got here, these are S initial consonants, and these are M final consonants. This word has a written vowel, has the or in the middle, and this one doesn't. So effectively, when you pronounce it, you have to insert it here, although it's not written. So both words have a falling tone, som, but they have different meanings. They're the same sound, same tone, different meanings and different spellings. Okay, I know I've said previously that that written Thai is a lot better than written English. There's a lot of things about written English it just doesn't make sense, and in many respects Thai is better. But there are some strange anomalies about Thai. So the second function of this character is just as an O vowel. It's also used in many vowel combinations. With the vowel combinations I covered already, you will have seen this character used quite a lot. If you remember, when you see a sara A and a sara I used like this, it makes an sound. So we've got a D initial consonant, dordek, then the vowel, and then the N nonu final consonant, dern. If we want that sound, but we don't have a final consonant, we can just use this one and this one surrounding the consonant instead of this one and this one. We haven't covered it yet, but this here is a T consonant. So we have a T initial consonant, and then the so it's just without a final consonant. And that's one of the words for the pronoun you. Thais have lots of pronouns, far more than English. So that's the third function of this character, is to be a part of vowel combinations. I started learning to read Thai about 15 years ago, and I've got a very inquisitive mind. And in the past I've had lots of questions, and I've found the answers to most of those questions. But there's still a few things that I'm not quite sure about. And here's an example. So a few minutes ago I spoke about the silent consonant. So if a Thai word starts with a vowel sound, we need to write the silent consonant with the vowel. That's just one of the rules. So we have a short vowel in Thai. So if a word starts with that vowel, we need the silent consonant. Okay, so let's write the silent consonant so we get an a. Now if we continue that, we can do a short I, which you should remember. And this is the raw R sound. So we get a rai. And that's the Thai word for what. Okay, so that's fine. That all makes sense to me. But there are other words that start with an a sound, but just have this. They don't actually have the short a vowel. Let me give you an example. So I'll write the or ang. Okay, so we have, this is a Nornu N consonant, then we have the long R vowel, then a K consonant, and then the Do Dao, which as a final consonant becomes a T. And in this syllable we have to add an O, because there isn't a written vowel. This is the Thai word for future, and it's pronounced something like anakot. But I don't understand why there's no short a vowel at the start. All it has is the or ang. So it's a bit of a strange one. If you've got an answer, let me know. I've also met some Thai girls called Ora Thai, and their name is spelt like this. Okay, so we have the raw rua. We've got to insert a short a here. Then we've got a T consonant, and then the mahanagat and yor yak, which makes like an I sound. But this orang here is pronounced O, so it's oratai. But in this word, it's pronounced a, so it's anakot. So maybe that's a bit confusing. If I see a word that I'm not familiar with that starts with this character, I'm never quite sure whether it's an a as in anakot or an o as in oratai. It's one of those things about Thai. As I said at the start of the tutorial, these two characters also perform a very important role with tones. Now, when we get on to the next two tutorials, you will start to understand that a key factor in determining the tone of a Thai word is the class of the initial consonant. All Thai consonants are either high class, mid class or low class. Now, by putting these characters in front of certain Thai consonants, it can modify the class of the initial consonant. If we do a few examples, that might become a bit clearer. So this one here, this or ang, is used in many words to modify the yor yak. So let's look at this word first. We've got the yor yak, the Y initial consonant, the long R vowel, and the gorgai unreleased K sound. Yak. It's the word to want, to desire, to need something. You will say this if you want to do something. But you'll also notice that it has the or ang at the front. Now why? It's for pronunciation purposes, it does nothing. All it does is modify the class of this consonant. So normally, this yor yak consonant is low class. But by putting this at the front, it modifies the initial consonant of this word to mid-class. Now if we look at the tone rules, we have a long vowel, and if our final consonant makes a P or a K or a T sound, it's a dead syllable. And the other important thing is the class of initial consonant. So without this, the initial consonant class of this word is low, so it would have a falling tone. But because we've got this one at the front, the initial consonant class of this word is actually mid here, so we actually get a low tone. Whereas this or just modifies the initial consonant class of words beginning with your yak, heap can modify the initial consonant class of words beginning with several different consonants. Let's give you another example. So this word, mu, it means pig or pork in Thai. So when you heard me say it, you know that as far as the sound is concerned, the initial consonant is M, because there's more ma. This H written at the front, it has no sound. All it does, more ma is a low class consonant, and by writing this one here, it modifies the class of the initial consonant of this word to high. So if I didn't have this, we would have a low class initial consonant, a live syllable. It's with this sound oo, we can continue voicing it. We can say oo, which is live. So the tone rule for a word that starts with a low class initial consonant and has a live syllable has a mid tone. However, with this word, because of this heap here, it modifies the class of the initial consonant to high. So the tone rule for this word actually has a high class initial consonant, it's a live syllable, and therefore it has a rising tone, mu. Let's give you another example. This word actually uses a tone mark. It uses the second tone mark, and therefore we have a different rule for words that use tone marks. Don't worry, I'm going to be explaining all these in the next two tutorials. But basically, this is the Thai word for face. Okay, so for pronunciation terms, the initial consonant is nonu, N, and then the long R vowel. Okay, now nonu is a low class consonant. So a low class consonant and the second tone mark would result in a high tone. However, with this word, we have heap at the front. So this word makes no sound, but all it does, it modifies this low class consonant into a high class consonant. So when we try to determine the tone rule, we use a high class initial consonant. So we've got a high class initial consonant, and then the second tone mark, and that results in a falling tone. Okay, so when you see this character at the front of words, remember it makes no sound. In other words, it might make an H sound, but in this word it makes no sound. Its only purpose is to change the consonant class of this consonant. Now, I've seen signs that are transliterated into English and they actually write an H because the person who did the transliteration doesn't really understand how it all works. You just ignore this completely. I hope that was a clear explanation. I understand from what I've read online that the attention span for people learning is about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm trying to keep these tutorials fairly snappy. Most are running at around 20 minutes. But I'm trying to teach a lot, teach a subject that I've been learning for 15 years in just a few minutes. So sometimes it's quite difficult to do that. As I said before, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So for the next tutorials we'll be continuing with tones, and hopefully my assistant will be back to give you the correct Thai pronunciation and tone of each word. See you again soon.